Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pop Go the Writers. How's everybody doing today? Jim, how you doing, sir?
I'm here and I'm doing.
Yep, that's all we can ask, right?
That's all. That's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Let's put it
So,
that way.
so I've decided to start the show with a completely inane topic.
Okay.
I'm driving back from Victorville today.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to see Lisa, hang out with her.
Mm-hmm.
And on the radio, and I don't know if you know this song, but the band Squeeze.
I love the band Squeeze.
Okay. The song Hourglass.
Oh yeah. That's yes. That's trying to think of what album that's off of. That's off of. I can't remember what it's off of, but yes, I love that song. Yeah.
So I know all the words.
Mm-hmm.
I'm singing along.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm driving, I stop and go, wait, what the hell does this song mean?
No. That way lies madness.
Yeah, and most of what the lead singer is singing about is the hourglass is out of sand.
Yeah.
The watch has no hands.
Stop. No more turning hands. Yep.
Yeah, no more turning hands. But it's the background singers. We're talking about Hourglass from Squeeze, Kyle. The line is take it to the bridge, throw it overboard, see if they can swim, back into the shore. No one's in the house, everybody's out, all the lights are on, and the blinds are down.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the hell are they talking about?
Because they have to be talking about something?
Well, then I started thinking about what if it was a conversation? You know?
Okay.
The buddy shows up and goes, okay, take it to the bridge. What are we taking to the bridge? Throw it overboard. Are we dumping a body? Are we dumping a body? Because this sounds like we're dumping a body. See if it can swim. Wait a minute. If we're dumping a body, shouldn't you have checked to make sure it was dead before we got to the bridge? Back on the shore. Okay, the body's back on the shore. We need to find the body, take this guy out now because he's going to get help. You
have just ruined Squeeze for me. Thank you very much. I didn't think anybody could do it, but I can. And then the next thing is,
no one's in the house. So it's like, great, no one's here. They won't have seen anything. We'll be able to get rid of this body. Everybody's out. Yes, you just said that. I get it. Nobody's here. All the lights are on, but the blinds are down. Why are you focused on the house? We got a body to get. Or somebody we thought was, what is going on? So,
Difford and Tilbrook are called like the other Lennon and McCartney, and Lennon and McCartney went to some dark places at some time. So I guess so. If that makes that song even better for you.
Now that was Paul Carrack, right? The lead singer?
No, I think he's gone by that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
went on to Mike and the Mechanics.
No, he was you have to jump back a few albums for him to still be in the group. But no, Sweets to a Stranger, he was already gone by then, and then I don't know, it's how many more albums until you get to the Hourglass one.
Kyle says, you're looking for meaning to a song by Squeeze. The meaning is cocaine.
Oh, man, come on, you guys and your anti-Squeeze-ness.
Well, I see you finally did some portraits, Kyle. He says, can we talk about the number of Phil Collins songs where fan theories thinks he watched more people drown and not just the one we know about? Okay, he never watched anybody drown. If you told me you were drowning, it's a song about his divorce. He wrote it right after he got divorced. It's a song about his anger having been divorced. There is no dead people. There are no drowning people. Though they did take it to a bridge and threw it overboard. Turns out he couldn't swim. All right, we have started this off.
What a way to begin a show.
Yeah, I told you it was going to be an inane show.
Jeez. Wow.
All right, let's jump over to the big news from the week.
There's
some
big
more
news.
casting. What?
There's some big news.
Yeah, there was some more casting for Superman Legacy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the SAG strike.
I am trying to stay out of that.
Okay, good.
I
You
mean,
should.
I've made my stance on it that I support the guilds or the unions. Um, I'm not in either of the unions,
Hmm.
though I've done the jobs, at least a little bit. But I support them. I have a lot of friends who are actors and writers, and
Yeah.
so and some of the stuff the studios are asking for, having to do with AI and having to. I think they need to be the writers and stuff and actors need to be properly compensated for streaming service
Hmm.
airings and stuff.
Hmm.
So, but there are better people to have this conversation than me.
Okay, and me for that matter.
Yeah, so I've been kind of avoiding it,
Okay,
but
well let's avoid it and let's talk about how disappointed I am in all that Superman news.
really,
I kind of am, and you know what? Who it wasn't you. It was who was it? I'm trying to remember who it was. It was some big name person that I follow on Facebook who was also disappointed for the same reasons, and it was I don't remember if it was like Mike Carlin or somebody, but he was saying it, and I'm nodding my head as I'm reading it. It was he was disappointed that it wasn't going to be or didn't seem to be more purely a Superman movie, but now we're adding in all of these other characters, and that
well,
pulls the focus from Superman.
Gunn has said that this is going to be a Superman movie.
Hmm.
It's going to be a kind of a workplace thing. It's going to be Superman and Lois. I have a feeling these other characters are going to be minor,
Okay.
kind of to establish that the universe exists, and that's why he's choosing some lesser heroes. Because if you think about it, if you introduce Hal Jordan or Barry Allen, or there's a certain expectation to it.
Absolutely.
But if you introduce more Metamorpho, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific, you can kind of get away with just going, oh yeah, there's some existing heroes. You don't have to delve that much into it.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that, but I mean, I still think, and then especially when you hire fairly well-known people, for some of them, like Nathan Fillion,
Yeah,
then you're getting into that pulling focus thing, and
yes,
and
but
then you kind of have to wonder. It's like, well, why have these fairly minor? Now, I don't think some of them are minor characters,
right.
like Metamorpho, as far as I'm concerned, deserves his own movie. But if this is going to be more or less like a setup, like building some groundwork for those characters to be in other movies,
I
okay. But
think
I'm hoping it's beyond that. It's a
okay.
Superman movie. Sorry.
First thing, we look at who they cast for Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Nathan shows up in all of James Gunn's movies.
Yeah. Right.
He was in the Suicide Squad. He's been in all three Guardians of the Galaxy movies, so he got cut out of most of
Yeah.
two. Nathan is going to show up somewhere. Now
Yeah.
they've given him a big enough part that he can recur, and you can introduce the idea of the Green Lantern without having to do Hal Jordan's story. You're not short shrifting one of the, and I don't want to downgrade Guy, but people want Hal or John Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
maybe Kyle Rayner,
Mm-hmm.
but Guy is a little further down the list. And yet you don't have to, it's not like, oh, it's Chip, it's Kilowog, because then you have to start explaining why the hell is there a talking raccoon? You just had, or talking squirrel, you just had a talking raccoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Boy, I never thought of that. Now they can never have Chip in a DC movie because
They
they'll
can't,
just
it just it
use their
can't be one
copy.
James, it can't be one James Gunn
Right.
rights. So it makes sense to me, Nathan Fillion, and I think he can pull the part off, but he's getting older, so he
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
He's
the
kind of
other thing.
aged out of being Hal Jordan.
I know, and
So
that's a shame.
yeah, and you've got to remember when you're doing comic books, you're putting out what 20, 30 books a month for DC or Marvel.
Hmm.
So you can have all these books that focus on all these characters. If you're putting out 1, 2, 3 movies a year, there are characters that are not going to get their time in the sun.
Sure,
You know, you just
sure.
have, so if you've got an entire core of Green Lanterns, there's going to be some sacrificial lambs, and Guy Gardner is not the most heroic of characters. He's got an interesting backstory. I love the fact that he was supposed to be the first Lantern, but he was too far away, so they went to Hal Jordan. And then later on, they retconned that Booster Gold actually tricked him to go see his father, so he would be too far away.
I think he was like a gym teacher or something like that too.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, I know there's a lot of people out there that would love to see the Wahaha Justice League and the
Sure.
One Punch, and yeah, that would be, but it's totally so different from anything else they're trying to do
Hmm.
that I think it just, there's got to be some characters that are introduced in a smaller fashion and still established because Superman's not supposed to be the first hero in this universe.
Hmm.
So, but I think casting Nathan Fillion, you've got a good actor. Isabel Merced is Hawk Girl, good actor.
Hmm.
Um, I'm never going to get his name right. It's like Edie Gathegi.
Is that the one that's Metamorpho?
No,
Oh,
Mr. Terrific, Gathegi.
oh,
Edie,
okay, yeah, yeah.
Eddie or Edie Gathegi.
Hmm.
He played. He was in the X-Men First Class movie as Darwin.
Okay,
So and then when we get to the guy who's playing Rex Morgan, the Metamorpho,
Mason,
they what
Rex Mason.
Rex Mason. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That actor is phenomenal. Anthony
Well,
Corrigan.
it like he. It looks like all they have to do is paint his paint him white, and he's. I mean, I just looked at him. I went, "Wow! I guess he was born to play Metamorpho."
But just give you the guy's pedigree. Lately, he's been on the show Barry about the hitman who ends up accidentally joining an acting class.
Okay.
And it's a huge HBO series that just came to an end, but it's got Henry Winkler in it, who won an Emmy for it, I think it is, or nominated at least. And Anthony Corrigan plays NoHo Harry, yeah, NoHo Hank, sorry. And he's this bad guy that's in it, but becomes friends, and it's a great character. But prior to this, the guy was on Gotham as Victor Zsasz.
Oh, that's that guy. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he was great as Zaz. Now he wasn't really the Zaz we know from the comics, but
Mm-mm.
the Zaz they decided to make, he was great. He was also in the first episode of The Flash. He was the first villain, the Mist.
Okay.
So he's got an acting pedigree. He's
Mhm.
really good. So I don't think they're shifting any of these characters. It's just they're not going to be in the. I mean, because if you ask a comic fan, they'll tell you that every character deserves their own movie.
Yes, that's very true. Well, that's you know what, that's a good point because I was going to say, to some people, Guy Gardner is on the level of Hal Jordan and John Stewart, of
Uh-huh.
course.
Yeah, everybody's especially when when it looks like a character's getting, put down, then everybody's suddenly a fan.
That's true. That's very true. Yes.
Yeah, it's like oh they cast an African American actor as Simon Williams Wonder Man. Now everybody's up in arms about it. Oh no, you've got to do just like the comics.
Hmm.
Really? Because I don't see a lot of Wonder Man fans out there.
No, no. There's everybody's a Wonder Man fan now.
Yeah. So so I look at that, but um, I like the casting. I was really excited about Anthony Corrigan. I was
Hmm.
really excited about Nathan Fillion,
Hmm.
and And I love the fact that James Gunn said part of the reason he wanted Nathan was because he wanted to make him get a bowl cut.
If they even do that. See, that's the other thing. Guy has to be a redhead,
Yeah.
Who knows what they'll do? That'll be funny if he does have to get a bowl cut, because that won't make any sense to anybody at all.
No, but it'll be for comic fans. They'll laugh our
Yeah,
asses
I
off.
know. Right. For the
Yeah.
100,000 comic fans that'll go and see the movie, they'll
Yep.
be able
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
You know what? I'm personally more concerned about Metamorpho. I mean, that's where I go, oh, he has to look exactly like the comic book, or it's no go. I mean, and by that I mean, the colors, the breakdown of the colors on him, and everything.
Have you seen Suicide Squad?
The James Gunn Suicide Squad, yes.
Okay. Polka Dot Man.
Mm-hmm.
Killer Shark.
Mm-hmm.
The Detachable Arm Kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you going for that? They were comic accurate.
They were pretty damn comic accurate.
Javelin. Yes.
There
Yes.
you go.
I for the most part, not necessarily Deadshot, but
Right. Well, Deadshot was the other movie.
wait,
Bloodsport.
Which what?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Sorry.
It's the same character.
Those names straight.
Yeah, it's close to the same. Bloodsport was never. Bloodsport had a bandana on his head and a black tank top.
And camo pants, right?
Yeah. So I think they made a better call.
Okay, it's okay. It's all good. I'm totally on board with all this Superman stuff.
I think the bottom line is we're gonna have to wait until there's actually a movie in the theater and watch it, and then make our decision.
Well, maybe it was too soon to announce these castings. Then
I think Warner Brothers is trying to build up some hype.
Yeah.
But there's another good point. When these were announced is kind of interesting because these were announced like an hour after they released the second trailer for Blue Beetle.
Hmm.
And instead of letting Blue Beetle have the day, they immediately squashed it.
So to speak. No pun intended.
Yes.
I could tell there was no pun intended.
Yeah, no, that was a legit.
Huh. Now that's very interesting. Not terribly surprising, but very interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I've heard a lot of people. There are people who are going to be upset no matter what James Gunn does right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I saw somebody going, why would he trample on Blue Beetle like that? That's just horrible. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Suddenly, there's all these, Jamie Reese Blue Beetle fans out there.
Jaime Reyes.
Jaime. I'm sorry. It's not Jamie. It's Jaime.
Yeah.
Jaime Reyes. Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, I want to, go into this in all good faith, but it's just sad now that we get all these announcements, and now the movie will have to be pushed back by several years because of these strikes.
Hey, I'm there to see Blue Beetle because of Nana with the BFG.
Okay.
Big 50 cal Nana on the front fighting off the bag. I'm like, if grandma's got a gun, I am there.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, but
not this one.
Not this one.
This one's making deer jerky or venison jerky.
I think I said it before. It's going to be really fascinating to watch what happens with this Blue Beetle movie, because, I mean, there is no wider audience recognition value at all.
But at the same time, this is a cheaper movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's only, total budget was $100 million. Okay, I realize that's a lot of money. but for a superhero movie, so it doesn't have to do great.
Yeah.
Plus um, it's got Latino leads,
Mm-hmm.
so it's going to play well in that market,
Mm-hmm.
in South America, stuff like that. You've got the kind of a Power Ranger like suit, so it's
Yeah.
going to do well in the Asian markets.
Yep.
That's why Iron Man always did well over there. They like tech suits.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that even if it doesn't do that well domestically, I think it'll make its money back globally.
It doesn't have far to go. You said
No.
it. So.
And they're not doing a huge amount of advertising either.
Mm.
So if they spend 50 million on advertising, I think 150 to 200 million is reasonable for this movie.
And one assumes it has no references whatsoever to the previous DC universe. So it could become part of the new one.
Gunn said that character and actor will be part of the new universe.
Okay.
So he will be kept. But also it has ties to the two previous Blue Beetles, which I think will get a lot of comic, even though if they're not Jaime Reyes fans, they might be a Dan Garrett fan or a Ted Kord fan. So
let's like James Gunn got a free movie handed to him, to start him off. Like, it'd be really cool to hear whether or not there were any little references to anything else, and those were edited out. Once Gunn started, his. So we're not going to get a Henry Cavill, post-credits scene welcoming him into the DC universe or anything like that.
Hey, Just Harry is here, or just another guy named Harry is here. And see, he agrees with me that NoHo Hank as Rex Mason is inspired.
Okay.
So I'm with you. And I was just saying that a little while ago, Hank. Or Harry. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. Before we get to Secret Invasion, I have one other thing I wanted to talk about. And I don't know if you watched The Witcher.
No.
But I did want to talk just a little bit about it. Yeah. I watched. They're splitting up this third season into 2 parts. So there's 5 episodes out now.
Who is the Witcher? Who plays him?
Henry Cavill.
Okay, see what I did there? That was that I gave you a segue.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And this is Henry Cavill's last season.
Okay.
They're changing actors in season 2 in season 4.
Oh, so like Doctor Who.
Yeah, but they're not saying he's a different Witcher. They're just replacing the actor.
Oh, very clever. Wow.
Yeah. So, and they're going to Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Thor's younger brother. So, who I think they should have cast as Balder the Brave. Would have been hilarious. So, I'm kind of mixed on this. Like I said, they do 5 episodes, and if you're watching Disney Plus shows or Max shows and thinking these seem really short, The Witcher's got your back. They're coming in around 55, 60 minutes, and they feel like longer. And I don't mean like they're dragging. I mean, there is just so much in this that I remember going along. We're like 2.5 episodes in, and I stopped for a minute. I turned to Lisa and I went, "Is this still the first episode?" She says, "Yeah." There was that much in the first episode, and it was only, I think it was supposed to be like 55 minutes, but it felt so much longer.
I mean, that's kind of how I felt about Rings of Power, that those were good, long, solid episodes. Okay.
And maybe it's because they spend a lot of time with a lot of characters in this season. That's if this wasn't Henry Cavill's last season, I wouldn't have anything to complain about, because I think it's a really strong season. But they're kind of more focused on the political happenings in this season than they are on him being a Witcher. And him being a Witcher is some of the coolest stuff. You know, him being a monster hunter and stuff like that. But they're so focused on the politics that it's downplaying. He's the lead, but it feels like he's a little less than the lead. It feels more like a ensemble at this point.
Since he's out of a job, why not continue with this show?
They're continuing with it. He left it.
Well, okay, I mean, that's what I mean. It's like he shouldn't leave it since he lost his big job, right?
He left the show because he feels that the writers have strayed too far from the source material. That's the reasoning. Okay. And he is a big fan of the books. From what I understand, that he quotes them on set. He is that into this, and that's kind of his thing. He gets he's as nerdy as the rest of us. He's a fellow nerd. You know, he missed the call telling him he was cast as Superman because he was raiding on World of Warcraft.
I think I heard that story. Yeah.
You know, in the middle of an interview for The Witcher season 2, they asked him about Warhammer because he plays Warhammer.
Oh, yeah, right.
And he's going to be the lead in this new Warhammer.
Well, okay, so that's one of the things that he's doing. That that's going to take a lot of focus.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, I think he's being considered for Bond. He's one of the people talked about. But and he's also got this new series coming out from that's about the first ever British Black Ops team.
Okay.
That was founded by Winston Churchill and Ian Fleming.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I don't think he should be Bond. You can't be like the most recognizable superhero of all time and then also be James Bond.
What, you think it's not fair?
I probably have said this before. I'm a pretty big believer in this. Don't hire hugely recognizable stars to be a hugely recognizable character, because then it becomes Henry Cavill as James Bond and not James Bond. I felt this way about Ben Affleck. You know, you look up on the screen and you don't see Bruce Wayne or you don't see Batman. You see Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, or I'd rather have lesser known people who are coming up rather than, and it's funny to say because he's still pretty young, but he's now very, very recognizable. I don't know. I think I'd rather see somebody who's, very, not as well known, not as well recognizable, so that who can really, really, go into the role and make it their own.
What's funny is he was very seriously considered for Bond last time.
Okay.
And they didn't go with him because they felt he was too young.
Too young, yeah. I can almost see that. And you know what? And that's kind of it's not a shame necessarily, because I'm so glad it was Daniel Craig. But But you know what? That would have been the time for him to get it, because who the hell knew who Henry Cavill was back then? But
they were talking to him. They were also talking to Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I don't think I would have, cared for that, because Hugh Jackman already had a name, for himself. That's like when everybody was bouncing around Idris Elba. It's like, no, he's too well, known as Idris Elba. Like, no, the model should be Christopher Reeve as Superman, because we had no idea who the hell Christopher Reeve was, and he became Superman. And maybe somewhat to the detriment of his career. I get that too.
What's funny is I knew who Henry Cavill was when he got cast.
Okay.
Because I had watched him on The Tudors.
Okay. I mean, you know what? Not to say that nobody knows who they are, but they just don't have all of the superstar baggage that comes with it.
Yeah.
And especially since Henry Cavill is so big in geek circles too. It's not like he's, big for doing too many other non-geeky things.
Yeah. Oh, I have another odd musical thing that just came up today.
Oh no. All right, hold on. I'm prepared. What other group that I like are you going to ruin? Don't
This
say
is not a group.
XTC.
This
Don't
is
say it's an XTC song.
I'm not gonna. Can I remember his name? Let me think. Did I think I wrote it.
I have a question but I'm remembering my question. Go ahead with what you're saying.
1 second. It's actually a composer named Lalo Schifrin, who in 1966 composed the theme for Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I almost said, wait, I know that name. It's because I was reading something the other day that and was talking about that, about how they still use that theme basically in the current movies.
Okay, so the theme itself, and I think I have it on here. 1 second. Oh, how perfect. All right. So that theme, dun, 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 dun. Okay. If you think about those 4 notes,
Yeah.
it's 2 long notes and 2 short notes, right?
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Okay. Now think about that in Morse code. Dash, dash, dot, dot, dash, dash.
If I knew Morse code, I could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dash, dash in Morse code is the letter M.
Okay.
Dot, dot is the letter I. He purposely did those notes.
Do we know this for a fact, or is this apocryphal?
Nope, this is supposed to be for a fact.
Okay, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Okay, I have to ask you. This is an inside baseball question that you should know. Okay, when I was recording my other show earlier, we were talking about the strikes going on, and my co-host was sort of the opinion that like that would affect shows that are currently playing right now. And I said, I don't think it's like that anymore these days. I said, especially since shows are like the seasons are shorter, sometimes only 8, episodes or whatever. It's my assumption that if a show begins to be shown on streaming, let's say, it is already all done and in the can.
Yes.
That nothing that we're currently watching should be impacted by the strike. It's not like the old days where a season was 24 episodes, and I think that is the way they did it. They started filming, they got a block of them done, those started airing, but they were still filming ones that were farther down the road in the season.
Anything that is in post-production or further can be finished and released.
Okay.
They cannot bring actors in to do ADR.
Right.
And they cannot continue filming with actors, nor can they continue getting scripts done, dialogue written, anything like that. So the writers can't work, the actors can't work.
Right.
Anything else is fine. So if you are past the point of needing a writer or an actor, then you're fine.
Okay. So what are some of the films that matter to us that will have to stop? Like Deadpool will have to stop, right?
Deadpool, anything that's currently being produced right now, it has stopped. So Deadpool, Captain America 4, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Um,
Ugh.
yeah, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
They cannot film anything
One
because
assumes that Ahsoka is completely done. I
yes,
would assume.
anything that's coming out in the next couple months should be done
Yeah.
or in post.
Or in post.
So again, they can't do ADR, which for anybody who doesn't know is basically additional voice
Yeah.
recording. So additional dialogue recording.
Dialogue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but they can cut it from other parts in the story.
Okay.
So that technically they could do it.
Okay.
So the odds are we're probably not going to see an interruption in anything through, say, August,
Mm.
September.
Mm.
We'll still get some movies out by this year. What we won't get are new seasons of shows
Yeah.
that are now filming because
Yeah.
that's over. What you will get in its place will be reality television, game shows, stuff like that, news programs. They'll fill those time slots.
People in reality shows, they don't have to join SAG. So the
Nope,
Kardashians are not part of SAG, or
not technically no. Now, if they're not acting, if they're
okay.
not performing scripts, then no.
Very, very interesting.
And
Would you?
there are some other shows that are outside of SAG,
Yeah.
especially outside of the U.S.
Yeah. Right. Sure.
So you could also see studios making deals with foreign companies, and going, okay, if you produce, they can go through and put closed caption on there, and Netflix does that on a lot of shows. They like bring Swedish, Scandinavian shows and stuff,
Yeah.
or they'll dub it. The dubbing would have to be done overseas.
So this is the equivalent of getting scab labor, then, right?
In a way, yeah.
In a way. Huh.
There are ways they could still probably do a few months worth of stuff, but they need to wrap this up quickly.
Yeah. Do you think the Marvels is far enough along that it's not going to affect?
I would think so.
Because that's November. I
Yeah,
would
I
think
would
so
think,
too, unless like the director suddenly said he wanted to do some last minute reshoots.
yeah,
They're not-
Marvel's notorious for doing reshoots.
Yeah, see,
So
that
they
might
will be
affect them.
yeah, they will be limited. They won't be able to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, we might end up with whatever is in the can now is in the can.
Yeah. Well, they can use that as the excuse if it's like no good. They can go, well, you know what? We wanted to do reshoots, but we couldn't because of the strikes.
Yeah. It's like Loki. If suddenly it came out that if Jonathan Majors gets arrested and it's all proven they can't swap it out. They're just going to put the show out because
Yeah. See, this is all a big conspiracy and plot to make sure that Jonathan Majors continues as king.
Yes, he's that powerful.
Yes. Or his lawyers are.
That's always possible. All right. Let's get to Secret Invasion. This show.
Oh, all right, I'm sitting back. Okay, yes.
I love it. I am enjoying it.
I pretty much love it also. I mean, and that's not to say I don't like it, but yeah, I'm hovering around love.
Every episode we get an acting moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Talos and Fury in the train, it's Rhodey and Fury in the restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
it's Rhodey and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
it's Talos and Gaia, it's again Rhodey and Fury. It's Fury and Talos as they're going to stop the naval thing. There are these moments that are just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamal. And When I look online, do I see what people are complaining about? Their complaint seems to be about what it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this should be bigger. It feels small. If it's like this isn't the Secret Invasion from the comics. That still exists. It's in the comics,
Yeah.
and you can do those kind of things in a comic book.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
They're complaining that it's not a superhero show when, yeah, it's not a superhero show.
no, it's a spy thriller.
It's a
It's
spy
Nick,
thriller set in a superhero universe, but
right?
it's not a superhero show.
Yeah, this is Nick Fury's show, and if you bring in these superpowered people, suddenly the spy guy, who isn't quite as good a fighter as Natasha, becomes just an extra, and this is his show.
Yeah.
It's him and Ben Mendelsohn and Olivia Colman, and we're getting some really good moments for Don Cheadle
Mhm.
and Gaia's character. I can't think of the actress's
Amelia
name.
Clark.
Yeah, Amelia Clark. So we're getting some amazing acting, but that's not what people are talking about. They're all whining because we should get other superheroes, and it
No.
needs to be a bigger. It needs to be need more, and like that's I see all that there.
Yeah, it's a total misunderstanding of what the show is. But it's also, and you know this as well as I do, it's also the case of there's nothing much to complain about this show, so I need to find something. Like it can't be that good.
Yep.
So I'm just going to come up with something and get some more hits online and some
Yeah.
attention. So
It's
yeah.
it's the whole negative thing where they feel they can only get hits if they talk negative.
Yeah.
If something is popular, they have to talk negative about it. If something's unpopular, then they talk positive about it.
And it's a shame because they might be missing, a lot of what the show is. And you were just saying, especially the acting. I have to say, I never really thought one way or the other about Samuel L. Jackson as an actor.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Mace Windu, he's always seemed to be about the same. He's just one of those guys like you know what to expect or whatever. But he's really kicking it in
Oh yeah.
this. He's not. This is. I mean, I think he realized what an opportunity this was for him to get this show all for the most part all about him for the
Yeah.
most part, and that he could really do something with it. It makes me wonder if it's his swan song as Nick, knowing full well that he's in the Marvels. I wonder if this is what he's looking at it as this is his opportunity to really do something, with this character, maybe for the last time.
I get the feeling that he just loves doing these things.
Yeah.
And he'll just show up whenever they ask.
Yeah.
And there are certain people who are like that, and I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Harry says that was the real magic of Captain America: Winter Soldier. It was literally a spy thriller that just happened to be in the MCU. Great approach to storytelling. Yeah, and you know what? How many people I've heard say they need to do something like Winter Soldier again? It's like they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, something that I do find interesting, this is a pretty big change of topic within the story. There was a rumor early on about Amelia Clark's character, and everybody thought she would be playing Abigail Brand.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And Abigail, of course, is part of SWORD. She runs the space station, whatnot. And I remember thinking, okay. And then it came out that she was going to be Gaia and she was going to be a Skrull, and it's the little girl, Talos' daughter.
Right.
And then something happened this week. Now we saw her get, let me put the spoiler banner up just in case.
Yeah, I was going to say, you better do that.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't have to remind you this time.
Yeah, we're about to talk spoilers for episode 4. If you have not seen episode 4, please stop now and come back and watch the rest of this episode then. So, of course, episode 3 ends with her getting shot, and nobody thought she was dead. I mean,
Right.
I get that some people might have, just because they've already killed Maria Hill, anybody can die on this show. And we learned that at the end of episode 4. But she, of course, wakes up, and we see that before she left the Chernobyl or whatever nuclear installation they were in, she used the super soldier or the super scroll thing. And I might be just reading into it, but it seemed like to me that she just grabbed one of the tubes and only put one in the machine. So
Yeah.
that she was basically only taking one power.
Yeah.
Which is Extremis.
Right.
Okay. What are the powers of Extremis? Healing and the generation of heat.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up Abigail Brand, she has 2 superpowers: healing and the generation of heat and fire.
That's a complete coincidence. I
The other thing
cannot subscribe to your conspiracy theory.
The other thing is,
and she also has a green streak in her hair or something like that.
Yes.
Green, like Skrulls.
Yeah, I could see her putting a green streak to live in her own skin partially. But the thing is that we know Talos is Talos.
Mm-hmm.
But he took over the body of, I can't think of remember the guy's name. Every time I try to think of it, I want to say it's Director Krennic, but that was his character from Rogue One.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think it was Krennic.
I don't think it was Krennic. But,
okay.
He was, the higher up at S.H.I.E.L.D. And
Right.
he still uses that name. They just don't call him that. And Vara, Nick Fury's wife, goes by Priscilla because that's the name of the person she took over. So what if the person Gaia took over is named Abigail Brand? And she ends up siding with Nick and becoming part of Nick's group on the space station.
Boy, I don't know what to say about it. This is interesting. I'm looking at the cast listing on IMDb for the Marvels to see if there was somebody listed as Abigail Brand. There's a lot of people that we don't know who they're playing. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's pretty coincidence that
it is.
That's the power she took is exactly the powers that Abigail Brand has.
Sure.
Because I don't know anything about Abigail Brand, but when she took, and I thought, why did she just take Extremis? So I looked the character up, and those were her powers. I'm like, oh, you're kidding.
He's kind of a jerk. I do remember that.
Yeah. So I just think that's a possible. Okay. I'm not calling it because I didn't know anything about the character, but I remember hearing people saying it. So maybe they were right.
Okay.
So I think if I was somebody who called it out, I'd be pointing to that going, eh.
Well, I don't. What's your batting record on these theories of yours?
This is not me batting.
Okay.
This is me just pointing out a coincidence.
Okay.
I'm saying that if they were to set it up, it was set up really well.
Okay. Okay.
Because it did look like she just took one of the powers, and that's the only power we've seen her use.
And I think that's probably because she just was rushing around and just decided that she had time enough to do the one.
Yeah.
And so far, Gravik has 2 that we've seen.
Right. So
we assume he has all of them, but
yeah, if he had a big, thick fist at the end of the tree branch, that would have been cool.
So Talos, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't think that one's coming back. Because from a storytelling point of view, You want Nick Fury to be as alone as possible
Yeah.
going into the third act.
Yeah.
And we're going into the third act. His wife just tried to kill him.
Yeah.
He's just lost his best friend. He's
Yeah.
already lost Maria.
And he's driving away with with an unconscious president of the United States.
Yep.
Who I just have a feeling that like the episode opens this coming Wednesday, and the president raises his head and looks over at him, and he's a Skrull. Why there would be that big setup, to Gravik would do that unless it was to get Fury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why would all those? I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say there's so many of the other like world leaders or whatever that are already taken over, but not the U.S. president. I don't know. That's going to be very interesting. But wow, Ben Mendelsohn only in 4 out of 6 episodes, right?
Yep. Well, he could pop up in flashback, or Rhodey could step showing pictures of him.
Yeah, I get that. It's wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Jamal says, according to the official Marvel internet brand, it's only a pyrotechnic, not health powers. See, the thing I looked up, and I think it might have been Wikipedia, had both powers. Or maybe it was fandom. Abilities. Regeneration. Yeah, the one I looked at was marvel.fandom.com. Abigail, mutant alien hybrid with following powers. Heat generation. Her mutant power is the ability to generate heat with her hands. The upper level of the temperature she can generate is unknown, which is always them just being lazy. But she can ignite a person by touching them and keep herself at least one more person alive at negative 100-degree temperatures. Regeneration, possibly due to her half-alien genetics brand, can heal from most injuries faster than a common human, including surviving blasts to the torso from a laser cannon. This kind of sound like Extremis.
That might be way too much if you think she'll be in the Marvels to introduce, to have a character like.
Don't know. But like I said, they never told us what her character's name is.
Yeah.
We know she's Gaia, but what is her human name?
Yep, that's true.
So, but yeah, with Talos, I think it's a good thing that he was seen trying to save the president.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to kind of rip the doors off of some things. And the fact that Gravik was actually using his powers.
Yeah.
So if this follows normal MCU pattern, episode 4 is always the heartbreaker. Episode 5 is the setup. And then episode 6 is all hell breaks loose.
I think the whole next episode is literally just going to be Nick Fury and the president, just driving around and talking, and maybe they stop for a beer somewhere, or I think it's.
Well, he's also got to stop at all his grave sites and pick up all the stuff he's hidden at all of them.
Yeah. Wait, what? They're in where they're at? They're in England, right?
Yes.
That took place in England. Okay. Yeah. So they could stop at a pub or 2 or 3 or 4.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do like pubs in this series. They've been in a few. Because he met Maria Hill in one. He had the lunch with the Rhodey. He met Talos when he was having his English breakfast.
Yep.
So we got 3 in only 4 episodes, and I'm probably missing one.
So do you feel that Nick Fury's wife will be back at all,
Yes.
or is she done for? Okay.
I think both Priscilla and Gaia are going to come to help out Nick.
Okay. But
I think Gaia's going to be really hurt by her dad's death.
okay. So that's who's going to be able to take on Gravik, because he's a super Skrull now, and we can't just take care of him normally. So you think there's going to be a big battle, as big as this show can do or will want to do, between him and Gaia then?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her only having maybe only having the one power, if that's true, then that's going to be tough on her. If he's got 3 or 4,
Mm-hmm. Jamal, pubs usually have great breakfast, especially in England. They do something called a British breakfast, or
Yeah.
a true English breakfast, and that is beans on toast, eggs. I believe there's like home fries.
There's
potatoes.
a piece of uncooked meat that they call bacon.
I like my bacon on the rubberier side. So
No.
usually there's a sausage in it,
No.
and there's a tomato for no apparent reason.
No, I like my bacon black, like my men. I always will look for an opportunity to use that joke.
Yeah.
But it is true. Like, bacon is no good unless it's carbon, unless it's burnt to hell.
See, I will answer that every time with Eddie Izzard's line is, I like women like I like my tea, with a spoon in them.
If you remember, Talos was eating an English breakfast that one when Nick Fury came in, and Nick Fury made fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like a good English breakfast. I like beans on toast. I'm half English, so my mom was born in Gloucester. So
I wouldn't mind having some scones, but
I make scones.
Yeah.
I actually make scones.
They like dry toast over there.
That's why they put the beans on them.
Huh?
That's why they put the beans on there.
No. Well, there's always like older TV shows and movies in England, and they put that damn rack of toast in the middle of the table, and people just pick a piece off of it and start eating it, and there's nothing in it. Ugh. No. Put butter on or fruit spread or something, but not beans. What kind of beans is it?
It's like baked beans, but they're a little different. They're a little more tomatoey.
I have, ancestry from the United Kingdom, and I don't get that at all. And that uncooked slab of meat that's considered bacon.
Actually, if that's the case, you would have loved dinner tonight.
Okay.
What my nephew made it is called Korean street toast.
Okay.
And what it is you take chopped cabbage and carrots, and you mix them together with an egg, and then you fry that all together. Then you take that and a piece of ham on top of it.
Okay.
Then cheese.
Yeah.
Then a little sprinkling of sugar.
Huh?
Ketchup and mayonnaise.
Oh.
Served on thick toast.
Okay.
And that is a popular Korean food that is sold on the streets in Korea.
It sounds and probably looks more like a street pizza.
I will tell you that the sound of it is horrible.
Yeah.
Actually, having it is delicious.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamal, a tomato is a normal thing in a English breakfast.
Yes.
I don't know why. That's the one part. It just seems out of place to me.
You ask why for a tomato, but you accept the beans on toast? Huh? That makes no sense whatsoever. The tomato sounds more likely.
I've had beans on toast. I like beans on toast, so it makes sense.
Oh,
I don't like tomatoes. So,
okay. I wouldn't mind having a nice slab, nice slice, big slice of tomato.
it's not a slice. They cut it in half and give you half.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I could do
And I
that.
think they put it on the grill for like a minute.
Okay,
So it's
that
got char marks on it.
sounds good to me.
So we have gone so off topic.
Nope. Talos and his English breakfast. Nope.
True,
We're not
Talos
off
and his English
topic.
breakfast.
Not off topic.
So all right. So we got 2 more episodes to go.
Wait, we have to do this. How can they end this in just 2 more episodes? I can't figure out what.
This one I can definitely see coming to an end.
Yeah, I do like this feeling of I really have no idea what these next 2 episodes will be like.
Yeah, I just hope we get more Olivia Colman because she's fun.
Yeah, that was strange that she was not in this one at all.
Yeah, well, she showed up in the first 3, so
yeah. I'm not so sure I know exactly why she's in this show yet, other than just to be her, I mean,
yeah.
I
think she'll probably play a bigger part in the last 2.
Yeah.
Because I kind of get the feeling that hey, Eternitine's back. I haven't seen you in a while. I get the feeling that things are not going to go well for Nick with the president. They're not necessarily going to buy it because I don't think the president saw Talos.
Mm-mm.
In which case, he's probably going to have to go alone against it. And
sure.
Yeah. But I think you'll end up seeing help from Gaia, from Priscilla, and from Olivia Colman's team.
Yeah.
I think they'll step up.
I'll take a guess right now that by the end of the show, Nick is like disgraced to the point of he is told, despite what he did to take care of everything, that he is maybe like exiled to the space station. Like he's ordered to go up there and stay up there or something along those lines. But they got to get him back to that, for the Marvels, unless the Marvels takes place before this.
Yeah, we don't know with that. So I'm not necessarily counting on that. Or, maybe he's restored. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better for Nick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's
got. I think by the end of it, he'll be back where he was.
Okay. Yeah.
So Harrison Ford showing up as Red Hulk wrecks the scroll shop. That would be fun. I don't see it happening, but it would be fun.
No, Harrison Ford is not going to be a Red. I can see Harrison Ford going, "What the F's a Red Hulk?"
Yeah.
Like he's done with so many other things. When they asked him why he wasn't a
totally
Force
see him
Ghost.
playing Red Hulk.
Huh?
I could totally see him playing Red Hulk. You know how they do that? They go, "Hey Harrison, you want me to do what? Gray pajamas, run around? All right, whatever."
Yeah, an 80-year-old Red Hulk. Yep, that's what we're gonna get.
I think it'll just be his facial expressions. It'll be on somebody else's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a 72-year-old they could get.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan's in
and we're right back to the beginning, folks. Thanks for being here, and stop back next week.
Nathan is younger than you, Jim.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I figured was at least my age.
He's like 52, 53.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not that much younger, but okay, that's very interesting. He's younger than Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Okay.
So, he was riding that horse at Indy 4. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Yep. Yeah, he was, and he can fly a plane too.
He can. And he can definitely crash them.
Yeah.
He is good at crashing planes.
Yeah, that's in Last Crusade. I didn't know you could fly a plane. Fly, yes. Land, no.
Yeah, that's called reality.
Yeah.
The guy has crashed planes more than anybody. I mean, it's him and Sully Sullenberger are like the two. You know, that's who they should have
Okay.
got to play Sully.
I think you better end it right there. I really, really think you should.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap that up. Let's see. Today is the 16th. So Jim will be here next week, but not on the 30th, right?
Right.
All right. So we will be back next week. I will be doing my show as usual during the week on The Experience. Tuesday, we will talk about episode 4 of Secret Invasion because I didn't get to on this last Thursday because of power outage. I had no power the whole day. Wednesday, we will talk about probably about The Witcher. We'll do a deep dive into The Witcher season 3, part 1. And then Thursday, we'll talk about episode 5 of Secret Invasion. So nice sandwich in there. And then, of course, we'll cover all the news and stuff. Anything coming up for you, Jim?
My new book is out. My Western anthology is out. That's called Six Gun Legends, and you can find it on Amazon. And just go and look at the writer lineup. We've got a couple of really big modern Western writers on the book.
Nice.
We're really, really proud of it. And I have a story in it, and it's my very first Western that I've ever written, and I'm really proud of it.
Very cool.
Six Gun
All right.
Legends.
All right,
Thanks.
so check out Amazon for Jim Beard, and we will see you all next week. Have a great week.